So in today's session, we are going to understand about ServiceNow architecture. Okay, we are going to understand about ServiceNow architecture. Okay, guys, first of all, I am going to a whiteboard here. In the whiteboard, I can actually explain you better. Okay, guys, this whole area that you are seeing here, this whole area is actually ServiceNow database. ServiceNow uses MySQL database, guys. Okay, ServiceNow database name. So ServiceNow use MySQL database, guys. You can see MySQL database. So, so by default is MySQL. Okay. ServiceNow by default use MySQL database. Well, this is a MySQL database, guys. Okay. Every personal developer instance has its own database. So this is my personal developer instance, right? My personal developer has its own database. Your personal developer instance will have its own database. Everyone's personal developer instance has their own database, guys. Remember this point. Every personal developer instance has their own database. In the database, incident, we have seen incident, right? Incident is actually one of the table. Incident is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen problem. Problem is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen change request. Change request is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen knowledge. Knowledge is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen users. User is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen groups. Group is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen roles. Roles is actually one of the table in the database. We have seen departments. Department is actually one of the table in the database. Location. Location is also one of the table in the database. Guys, everything is actually a table in the database, guys. So there is a database in ServiceNow. Every personal developer instance has its own database. In the database, you can see tables. So what I meant to say is ServiceNow uses MySQL database. Okay. Database is collection of tables. Database is collection of tables. You can see this ServiceNow database. This is ServiceNow database is collection of tables. Incident is one table. Problem, change request, knowledge, user, finance case, group, roles, department, location, incident task, HR case, problem task, change task, catalog task. All these are actually tables in the database, guys. All these are actually tables in the database. Okay. So guys, remember data, there is a database in ServiceNow. Every personal developer instance has its own database. Database is collection of tables. Fine. So here again, table is combination of rows and columns. Table is combination of rows and columns. Every row is considered as record. Every column is considered as field. Okay. Table is combination of rows and columns. Every row is actually considered as record. Every column is considered as field. Okay. Okay. So remember this point, guys. ServiceNow US MySQL database. Database is actually collection of tables. Okay. Table is combination of rows and columns. So every row is considered as record, every column is considered as field. Okay, fine guys. Now what I'm going to do is sheet here. Okay. So guys, whenever you see something like this one, you call it as table here. We call it as table here. Whenever you see something like this one, you call it as table here. Not only in ServiceNow, everywhere. Whenever you see something like this one, you call it as table. This is a table, guys. This is a table. Okay. So in the table, you can see this one is actually called row. This is row 1, row 2. Okay. This is actually row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8. Likewise, row 2. We have row 14. Okay. So we have actually how many rows? 14 rows in this table. This whole area is actually a table, guys. This whole area is actually a table. In this table, how many rows are there? 14 rows are there. So this one is actually column 1, guys. Column 1. So this is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Likewise, we have 12 columns. So we have row 1, row 2, row 3. Likewise, we have 14 rows. And we have 12 columns, guys. So in this table, how many rows and how many columns, guys? Can any one of you tell me? In this row, how many rows and how many columns we have here? Okay. So in this row, in this table, how many rows and how many columns here? We have we have 14 rows and 12 columns. Very good. 14 rows and 12 columns here. Okay. So here table is actually combination of rows and columns. This is a table. This is a table. Okay. So in this table, guys, here you can see this is a table. Hmm, what is happening? My laptop is actually troubling, guys. So this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So we have 14 rows. In this table, we have actually 14 rows and 12 columns here. I am going to create a new table here. Okay. I am going to create a new table here. Now you have to tell me here, guys, in this table, how many rows and how many columns are here? So we have how many rows and how many columns in this table? We have 12 rows and 7 columns. Very good. We have 12 rows and 7 columns. So I am going to create a new table here. So in this table, how many rows and how many columns are there? We have to answer, guys. You have to answer. Okay. So here in this table, we have 14 rows and 4 columns. We have 14 rows and 4 columns. Guys, remember, this table name I am actually giving here as incident table name, guys. This table name I am actually giving here as problem table. This table here I am giving as a change request table. If you consider this Excel sheet as a database, if you consider this Excel sheet as a database, in this Excel sheet, incident is actually one table. In this incident table, 14 rows and 12 columns are there. So if you consider this Excel sheet as a database, problem is actually one table in the database. In the problem table, we have 12 rows and 7 columns. So if you consider Excel sheet as a database, in the change request table, you have 14 rows and 4 columns, guys. So let us imagine this Excel sheet as a database. Okay, this Excel sheet as a database. This Excel sheet, in this Excel sheet, problem is actually one table. In this table, you are able to see data is stored in the rows and columns format. We have 14 rows and 12 columns. We have problem table. In the problem table, we have 12 rows and 7 columns. In the change request table, we have 14 rows and 4 columns. So likewise, you can see database is actually a collection of tables. Every table is actually combination of rows and columns. Incident is actually combination of rows and columns. Problem is combination of rows and columns. Change request is actually combination of rows and columns. Knowledge is actually combination of rows and columns. So every table is actually combination of rows and columns, guys. I'll show you. Okay. I am going to the ServiceNow database, guys. So to go to the ServiceNow database, you have to go to tables under application navigator, guys. Just type tables. If you type tables under system definition, remember this point. Under system definition, you will find a module called tables. Okay. So this is ServiceNow database, guys. In the ServiceNow database, you can see 5,340 tables are there. In the ServiceNow database, 5,340 tables are there, guys. 5,340 tables are there. Okay, fine. Well, out of these 5,340 incident is actually one table. Out of these 5,340 problem is actually one table. Out of these 5,340 change request is actually one table. In this database, I am going to open the incident table here, guys. Incident. You can see in this database, incident is actually one of the table. Problem is actually one of the table. Okay. Change request is actually one of the table. Knowledge is actually one of the table. Okay. User is actually one of the table. Guys, these are table names. You will remember these table names slowly one by one. Okay. Gradually, you will remember the table names. So here you can see group is actually one of the table in the database. I showed you, right? Group is actually one of the table in the database. Incident is actually one of the table in the database. Problem is actually one of the table in the database. Change request is actually one of the table in the database. So I am just going to show you problem table. So problem table is there in the database, right? You can see. Okay. And incident table is actually there in the database. So guys, in the database, we have totally 5,340 tables are there. 5,340 tables are there. So that is what I mentioned here. 5,340 tables are there. In the each table, okay, in the each table, data will be stored in the rows and columns format. So what I am doing is, I am going to open the incident table. I am going to open the incident table. In this incident table, okay. So guys, here you can see read table is collection of records in the database. Table is collection of records in the database. Each records corresponds to a row in the table. Each field corresponds to a column in the table. Okay. So understand this one. Table is collection of records in the database. And each record corresponds to a row in the table. And each field in the record corresponds to a column in the table. As I mentioned here, if you see, what did I mention? Table is combination of rows and columns. Every row is considered as a record. Every column is considered as a field. That is what it is mentioned here. Table is collection of records in the database. Each record corresponds to a row in the table, and each field on the record corresponds to a column in the table. Okay, fine. Well, here I have opened the incident table in the database. That means in the database I have opened this incident table. So in this incident table, if you scroll down, if you click on show list here, so in the incident list, each each row is actually this is a row, guys. This is a row. Okay, this is second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row, seventh row. Okay, this one number is a column. Number is a column. Opened is a column. Short description is a column. Caller is a column. Priority is a column. State is a column. Category, assignment group, assign to. These are actually columns, guys. Well, here if you see in this table, we have 93 rows. In the incident table, we have now 93 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 93 rows and 11 columns in incident table, guys. So in the incident table, we have how many rows and how many columns here, guys? In the incident table, 93 rows and 11 columns. So in the database, I am going to open the user table. So users, we have seen users, right? I am going to open the user table here. Just click on show list here. So in this user table, you have 628 rows are here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 628 rows and 6 columns. In the user table, we have 628 rows and 6 columns. We'll do the same in the problem table. In the problem table, how many rows and how many columns are there, we will see. In the problem table, we have 24 rows and you have 8 columns. You can see 5, 3, 8. So we have in the problem table, we have 24 rows and 8 columns, guys. In the problem table, okay, I am going to open the change request table. Okay, in the change request table, how many rows and how many columns are there? We will see here. We have 104 rows. Okay, 5, 8. 104 rows and 8 columns. In the change request table, we have 104 rows and 8 columns. We will see the group table in the database. In the group table, how many rows and how many columns are there? So guys, the one which I am typing is a technical name, guys. You will remember the technical names slowly. You will remember the technical names slowly, guys. Okay. Guys, someone is actually scratching the screen, guys. Okay. So let me just click on show list here. Now here you can see 48 rows and you have how many columns? 6 columns here. Okay. You have 48 rows and 6 columns. Okay. In the group table, we have how many rows? 48 rows and 6 columns. Okay. Fine. So we have seen that there is a database. This is actually a database, guys. In this database, you can see tables. In the user table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. In the problem table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. In the change table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. In the group table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. In the incident table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. In every table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format, guys. So first of all, you have to navigate to tables under system definition. This is database, guys. In the database, whatever you are seeing, these are actually called tables. In this incident is actually one of the table. So in this incident table, the data is stored in the rows and columns format. Is that clear till here, guys? Everyone? Guys, everything in ServiceNow is a table. Everything in ServiceNow is okay. Everything in ServiceNow is stored in the tables, guys. Remember, tables are actually like a foundation. Tables are like foundation in ServiceNow. Okay, guys, if you don't understand this foundation, if you don't understand this foundation, if you try to without understanding this concept, if you try to understand ServiceNow, okay, so that is like a you know you will understand that, but you will not be confident. This concept is very important to get started our career in ServiceNow, guys. Okay, so now, okay, here what I am doing is in this database, in this database, I am going to create a new table in this database. Okay, I am going to create a new table in this database, guys. Like I created here. What is this? Okay, Aadhaar card table I am creating, or PAN card table I am creating here, guys. Okay, PAN card table. We'll do one thing. We'll give Aadhaar so that you will be able to understand better. Aadhaar card table I am creating in the database. So in the ServiceNow database, I am creating a table called Aadhaar card table, guys. Okay, in the database, I have actually created a new table called Aadhaar table. Okay, Aadhaar table. Okay, Okay, same thing I am going to create Aadhaar table in ServiceNow database. You have to go to tables under system definition. Under system definition, you have to go to tables, guys. Okay, here click on new here. Click on new here. I am going to create a new table here called Aadhaar table. Okay, guys, remember as soon as I provide the table name as Aadhaar here, as soon as I provide the table name as label as Aadhaar here, name is populated here automatically. Name is populated here automatically, guys. Okay. Well, here, if you see the name, there is no capital letter in the name. Do you see any capital letter in the name? Do you see any uppercase letter in the name? No uppercase letter. All are actually lowercase letters. And also it is starting with U underscore. It is starting with U underscore. What do I mean by U underscore here? Okay. Table name will be lower cases and will be starting with U underscore. Is starting with U underscore, guys. Guys, remember table label is for employees purpose. Table label is for employees purpose. Table name is for ServiceNow developers purpose. We are ServiceNow developers. We as a ServiceNow developer will always use the table name. Guys, remember going forward, when I ask you the table name, you have to tell this particular table name. You should not tell the label here. Label is for employees purpose, guys. Label is for employees purpose. Okay. Name is for developers purpose. Remember this point. Table is actually table label is for employees purpose. Okay, you can see display name for the table that can be localized. Name is for developers purpose. This name will always start with U underscore. Okay, and it is starting with it is having all lowercase letters. Okay, I created a table, guys. Okay, so guys, remember U underscore means that is a ServiceNow developers created table. ServiceNow developer created table will always starts with U underscore. Okay. Okay. Let me create the table first. I created a table in the database, guys. I created a table in the database now. Okay. Fine. Okay. If you see this table name is starting with U underscore here. This table name is starting with U underscore here. This table name is also starting with U underscore here. This table is name is also starting with U underscore. But rest of them are not starting with U underscore. Guys, remember, if a table name is starting with U underscore, those tables are created by ServiceNow developers. Those tables are created by ServiceNow developers. If the table name is not starting with U underscore, these tables are not starting with U underscore, right? These tables are directly coming from ServiceNow. If a table is directly coming from ServiceNow, that doesn't start with U underscore. If a table is, okay, if a table is directly coming from ServiceNow, that doesn't start with U underscore. If a table is not coming from ServiceNow directly, that will start with U underscore, guys. Clear? Everyone. So here, if you take a look at here, incident table name. Incident table name is not actually started with U underscore. Why it has not started with U underscore? This table is coming directly from ServiceNow. This table is directly coming from ServiceNow, guys. Okay. So problem table. Problem table is not starting with U underscore. Okay. Problem table is not starting with U underscore because this table is directly coming from ServiceNow. Change request table is not starting with U underscore. Okay, change request table is not starting with u underscore because this table is directly coming from ServiceNow. But if you take a look at the Aadhaar card table, u underscore Aadhaar card table is created by ServiceNow developer. That is why it started with underscore, u underscore. Guys, this is how you can separate in the database which table is created by ServiceNow developer, which table is coming from ServiceNow directly. We can differentiate it by using u underscore. U underscore means if the table name is starting with u underscore, the table is created by ServiceNow developer. If the table name is not starting with u underscore, that is created by that is actually coming from ServiceNow directly. Those are called out of the box tables. Whatever the tables by default ServiceNow is providing, those are called out of the box tables. Out of the box means if the ServiceNow company directly providing those tables along with the ServiceNow instance, those are actually called out of the box tables. Okay. So incident is actually out of the box table. Problem is actually out of the box tables. So out of the box tables will not start with u underscore. Only custom tables which are created by ServiceNow developer will start with u underscore, guys. So in the database we have created a Aadhaar card table. If you open the Aadhaar card table here, so this is the label. This label is for employees purpose. This name is for developers purpose. Okay. Okay. Now we come to the columns here. Columns means columns are nothing but fields. Columns are nothing but fields, guys. So whenever you create a table in the database, so whenever you create a table in the database, 6 fields will be created automatically. 6 fields will be created automatically. Those are actually these 6 fields. Created, created by, updated, updated by, updates, system ID. Okay. Created, created by, updated, updated by. Okay. Updates, system ID. Okay. Okay. So these 6 fields created automatically, guys. Whenever I created a table, along with the table, these 6 fields got created automatically. Okay. So just use this personalized list here. I'm going to add column name here. Column name to the right side. Guys, again here in the column, table columns, okay, these are actually labels, these are actually names. These names are for ServiceNow developers purpose. These labels are for employees purpose. Okay. Again, whenever we create a table, in the table, 6 fields got created automatically. Those are actually called system fields. So again, in the tables, we have labels, column label. Label is for employees purpose, name is for developers purpose. Okay. These 6 fields are common in every table, guys. So these 6 fields are actually common in every table. Guys, from morning 8 a.m. from morning 8 a.m. till evening 8:30. No gap, guys. Continuous meetings, continuous work. Okay. So these 6 fields are common in every table in the database. Okay. These 6 fields are common in every table, guys. I will show you. So in the Aadhaar card table, these 6 fields are there, right? I will show you. Um, I will show you demo incident table. In the demo incident table, I'll show you. Click on this search icon. Just type sys. You can see created, created by, updated, updated by, updates, system ID. So these six fields are common here. Okay, you can see those created, created by, updated, updated by, updates, system ID fields in the demo incident as well. I am going to open the incident table here. In the incident table also you can see those six fields here. In the incident table, go to the columns, click on search here, just type sys here. Okay. So here you can see created by, updated, updated by, created, update, system ID. So these six fields are common here. These six fields that you are seeing here, right? These six fields are common in every table in the database. Okay. Okay. Now what I am doing is I am going to generate the Aadhaar card number, guys. Okay. So go to the control tab, auto number. Okay. So Aadhaar card numbers I don't have to generate. I am creating a new field in the Aadhaar card table. So along with these fields, I am going to create a new field called Aadhaar number. Okay. So here we have actually different type of fields, guys. In the table we have different type of fields. I am actually creating string type of field. Okay. Number field. Number field. Maximum length I am giving here as 100. Number. Date of birth. Date of birth is actually a date type of field. Date of birth. This one also string type of field. Address. Address. I am going to create one more field called father name. This is also a string type of field. Guys, if you see, as soon as I provide the column label, name is getting automatically populated here. So name is actually all lowercase letter. It is starting with U underscore. If the field name is starting with U underscore, that field is created by ServiceNow developer. Okay. If the field name is actually not starting with U underscore, that is actually out of the box field, guys. Okay, that is actually called out of the box field. Okay. Okay. So here if you see, this field name is starting with U underscore. This field is created by us. This field name is starting with U underscore. This is created by us. This field name is starting with U underscore. This is created by us. You can see these field names are not starting with U underscore because these fields are actually coming from ServiceNow directly. These are actually called out of the box fields, guys. These are actually called out of the box fields. Out of the box fields will not start with U underscore. Only the fields that are created by ServiceNow developer will be starting with U underscore, guys. Okay. So now I created a Aadhaar card table. In the Aadhaar card table, I have created four fields. One is actually number, father name, number, father name, date of birth, address. And also I have to create one more field called name field. String type of field. Name field. Length I am giving here as 100. 100 characters. 100 characters. Okay. Okay. If you just click on show form, guys, click on show form. If you click on show form, you are able to see number, address, father name, name, date of birth. Okay. So Aadhaar card table we created. This is the Aadhaar card form, guys. Okay. We created a table called Aadhaar card table. From the table, when you click on show form, this is the Aadhaar card form. Okay. So let me just redesign this form, guys. Let me redesign this form. So if you just click on design form, if you just click on design form here, okay. So what I want to do is I want to add this number field. Okay. Name, father name, number, name, father name, address. Okay. Click on save. Okay. So from the table you clicked on design form, and now this time you click on show form here, guys. Okay. Wait, did we save this form? Why is it not saved? What is this? Okay. Instead of form design, what we will do is we will use we'll go back here again. We'll go to the table. We'll go to the layout form. We went to the form design, right? We'll go to the layout form. Just click on layout form. We'll click on form builder. So guys, remember this form builder, form design, form layout, we'll be discussing in tomorrow session. Okay. These three does the same thing. Okay. So this is how I designed the Aadhaar card form. So Aadhaar card number I'll enter. Okay. Uday Gadiparthi. Father name, date of birth. Okay. So I have just created one Aadhaar card details. Okay. Aadhaar details I have entered here, guys. Okay. So if you just scroll down, if you click on show list here, you are able to see my Aadhaar card details here. This is my Aadhaar card number. My name is Uday Gadiparthi. I belong to Andhra Pradesh. This is my date of birth. This is my father name. So in this Aadhaar card table, you can see there is one row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. In this Aadhaar card table, how many rows and how many columns here, guys? One row and 5 columns. Okay. Clear, right? If you just go back here, go to the table and click on show form here again. Show form here again. Okay. I am taking Amrendra Bandari. Okay. Number 456789012445. Father name. His father name is I'm keeping as Hero. Okay. He belongs to Telangana. So I created one more Aadhaar card detail here. Okay. One more Aadhaar card number here. Okay. If you scroll down, if you just click on show list here, you are able to see two Aadhaar card details here. So this is actually Uday Gadiparthi details. This is actually Amrendra details. So in this Aadhaar table, how many rows here? Two rows. This is one row. This is actually another row. Two rows and 5 columns. So in the database, in the Aadhaar card table, how many rows and how many columns here, guys? In the database, in the Aadhaar table, how many rows and how many columns here? Hmm? We have two rows and 5 columns. Okay. Now, guys, here, if you go to the table once, okay. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 columns are here. But we are able to see we have total 11 columns here, right? Okay. But we are able to see only 5 columns here. So to add the rest of the columns, we have to use this personalize created, created by, updated, updated by, updates. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns here totally. So we have system ID. So we have actually one more column called system ID. System ID won't appear on the form or list, guys. System ID, if you want to see the system ID, right click, copy system ID. Right click, copy system ID. System ID can be seen here. System ID won't be appearing here in the columns, guys. So we have created a table in the database that is actually Aadhaar table. In the Aadhaar table, we have actually 6 columns we have got by default, and we have created 5 columns. Totally, we have 11 columns. Okay. So with that, we have designed a form. Using that form, we created actually 2 entries. In the Aadhaar table, we have finally 2 rows and 10 columns. We have 2 rows and 10 columns, guys. Okay. So this is how you will create a table in the database, guys. Okay.